Previously.
This was a ton of fun to put together. Thank you again to everyone who was part of the Nerdies this year. Again, go subscribe to their channels if you're not already. Links below.
What? He didn't invite me. He didn't even, tell me about this. He stuffed me for the Nerdy Awards. Fine.
I'll do it myself.
I'll do my own review one day of you. Alright, so Matt from Nerdzoic showed around his warehouse. And, we're obviously all toy retailers, so we want to see what he's doing. And I'm going to critique him and see how well he's doing.
Totally neutral and unbiased opinion. No anger at all.
When I started this channel,
Why am I not surprised Nerdzoic hurts his employees just as often as he hurts friends?
it was just for fun. But then it grew really quickly, and my wife and I started talking, and we said, hey.
Have you all noticed, how low his ceiling is? I actually know Matt, and he's actually Frost Giant.
Run back home, little princess.
Dad.
And he's actually, that's a normal ceiling height. It's probably 7 feet or something like that, and he's actually 6.2 feet, so he's actually a towering giant, so that's why the ceiling actually looks pretty low compared to him.
We took the plunge and we invested our entire savings into opening a toy store. And
Investing all your money into a toy store? It's a sketchy move because margins are pretty low and you could end up burning quite a bit. I wouldn't say invest all your savings, but I would say, invest money that you did towards a business rather than just your savings, because your savings is supposed to be for an emergency rather than toy crisis, I guess. I mean, I appreciate the idea. I think you need to work on having your saving money and then your business money, keep them separate because things can happen always.
Not a threat, just be careful who you forget to invite to the Nerdies Award.
next thing you know, we need a warehouse, but we have a basement. So we turned our...
So toys take a lot of space, and it is surprising how quickly. This year alone, we moved twice already, so I can imagine this is just the curse of owning a toy store is that you end up having always more and more and more. These boxes are getting bigger and bigger for some reason. The products are just really big. Look at the size of this box. This is juggernaut. It's bigger than my head, right? Getting a warehouse, getting a bigger store is always an issue when you're running a toy store because you just always need more space.
I'm going to show you where the sausage is made. I'm going to show you the magic. I'm going to show you our...
Sausage?
Okay, so we're going to start. I'm at the entrance the way that we have this set up. So Mrs. Nerdy, if you want to come over here, this is our office supplies. As you can see, it's well organized. This is the TV up here.
His employees got a little TV, so it's kind of nice. My employees, they don't get a TV.
Cause I rule over them with an iron fist.
Because as she's packing, Mrs. Nerdy likes to watch Dawson's Creek for some odd reason. Why do you watch that?
I like to watch Dawson's Creek because, there's really good-looking people there.
We have a monitor. I set up a computer just for it. All of this is actually rest.
His table is quite short. Even though he's a giant, you should have a table that comes up at least to your waist for the packing table, just because it hurts your back when you were packing, for 8 hours a day. So I definitely recommend that he gets a taller table, just because even for Mrs. Nerdy, that seems like a regular human-sized table. And even though she is a lot shorter than him, the packing table needs to be a bit higher, just to reach her waist, just so she can just stand up straight and pack the table and pack the products in.
Up here, all of our smaller boxes. Down here's all of our big boxes. Our scale, our print.
Very organized, actually.
It's our whole setup, but this works out pretty well for Mrs. Nerdy when she's packing.
I also feel he doesn't have enough of any single box. So if he has a big release date and he starts selling a lot of a single figure, everybody wants a Spider-Man No Way From Home figure, and he gets 60 orders of them, he's gonna need more than 10 boxes, which are seen right now of that single type. Just otherwise he's gonna have to start getting bigger boxes.
Now if you look over here,
this
is our
wall is just in the middle
cases.
of the office.
These are our backup cases of stuff that we have backed up.
I don't recommend putting the wall of your storage of boxes, your extra cases, in the middle of the warehouse, just because it gets really big. I know right now he's still starting out and everything is going really well for him, but I definitely recommend that he should put his wall towards another wall so they can use that wall as a support and becomes a bit more manageable. Well, I'm going to show you our wall of walls. How about that? Right? So my ceiling is about 14 feet tall, so you can fit, I don't know, half a mat in it. It's a humongous wall, reaches all the way to the floor and goes up. And we have some steel cages just to hold it up because plastic ones will just bend and break. Yeah, I definitely recommend he puts his wall towards another wall just because it, will help out.
Here's our bubble wrap, which I never ever go with. I never do it. I never do that, ever. Now we do use two different types of bubble wrap, the big one and the small one. I don't know why we have both, but Mrs. Nerdy's the packing expert now, not me. I don't know what happened. No, in all seriousness, we use the thick one when...
So I like the idea of using two bubble wraps. We also use two types of bubble wraps. But I think he should get some craft paper because as a business, it's a lot cheaper. Not all your customers are Minty Fresh customers. and depending on the weight of the product, so if it's like, for example, a Marvel Legends that's relatively light, putting craft paper inside the box will just, well, save you money because bubble wrap is quite expensive compared to craft paper. At the same time, most customers, they're just going to open up the figure. The craft paper is also just as useful and way cheaper, and I highly recommend that, just, you know, to save him some money and, well, time too, because it's a lot easier to rip a craft paper, which is also just as satisfying as crinkling up bubble wrap.
Oh, look, more boxes.
All right, so he's got more boxes.
Come
That's
close.
good. That's really
yes, boxes are taking over everywhere. These are just empty boxes. We have more up in the garage.
So he mentioned before that he was using a cooking racks. I'm actually also using cooking racks to hold my boxes down. I don't know, you're supposed to put like canned food, I think, and it's supposed to, like, it's on wheels, so it's movable. But yeah, you can put a lot of boxes in here, and yeah, I mean, I obviously keep them near our shipping table. Oh, for the shipping table here is, see, here's a good height, I feel. It comes up here, so you can put the figure right over here. I also recommend Fatigue Max, because these things, when you're standing all day, are really great. They're really cushiony. They only cost a few dollars. Like, I think it's like $25, so it's pretty good.
Look at this, more cases of toys. They're everywhere.
Yeah, it just happens. Like, so we even have like a second wall starting to build up over there. That's usually the wall of quick things to go out. Sometimes you get a new release and you know they're all pre-ordered already, so they don't need to go into the gigantic wall, stuff that you're going to sell eventually later. So yeah, we keep them near over there. That's the stuff that's going to go out hopefully within 1 or 2 days.
Over here is where I keep all of our figure stands. The different types we carry. So we have the Neca ones, and we have the dynamic stands. I need to find something that works for Black Series and Legend.
We actually got some stands. We get it from Iron Displays, I believe they're called. We have them on their website, toysnowman.com. You just go to our accessories, and well, we have our Black Series stand, and they have 3 pegs. So one of them's for Marvel Legends, G.I. Joes, and Star Wars Black Series. And there's another peg that's random sizes, so maybe that'll help you out, Matt.
Now you might be saying to yourself, Big Nerdy, what's these little yellow tags? That's a great question. It's one of my better ideas. I'm kidding. Don't kill me. Fine, it was Anna's idea.
Seems like a list of people who might want to hurt Nerdzoic.
This is near mint. Yellow tag is near mint. No tag is minty fresh. Red tag is banged up. As you can see.
That's a good idea. I like how he's organizing his products in that way.
Get a close-up on this. I'm telling you, this is an underappreciated figure right there. I don't have any in stock, so I'm really not doing a great job selling, but I love her. I love this figure too.
That figure is going to sell really well once the Multiverse of Madness comes in, so I definitely recommend getting whenever you can.
As a store owner, I freaking hate these things because they don't ship nicely because of how big the cart is, and they don't fit anywhere. I hate them.
So he's saying they don't fit anywhere, but Matt, you do realize that those things, those shelves, you can change their level. You don't have to have the same level for all of it, so you can increase or decrease the size of each level.
I just tripped over Mrs. Nerdy's stool. She has a stool because she's short and she can't reach the top.
Okay, just because we have a stool does not mean we're short, okay? We got 2 stools here in the warehouse, so one of them is like a quick access stool. We got the little quick stool. It's nice and easy to move, so in case you just need to go in the little top shelf over here. But I know your warehouse is slightly smaller right now, but you should probably get yourself a full-size ladder, because yeah, you're gonna have to reach. So like I said, our wall is about 14-15 feet, so we have our
Gigantic wall.
but we also have a wall of model kits over in the other side. The model kits are really high up, so we put the lighter stuff up just because, you know, it's lighter, so we don't want a heavy object falling on somebody's head. A stool is very useful, especially when you're vertically challenged like me. We're Asian, okay, Matt? We're not giants like you.
Even though this is literally a 6.5 foot ceiling.
Close.
Up here we have Transformers, robots in the skies. Does anybody collect these?
Alright, so for the Transformers, it's a very competitive niche. It's very hard to break into the Transformers space. First of all, there needs to be a huge selection. And the second part is, there are a lot of Transformer dedicated only sites. So unlike, you know, Star Wars and Marvel Legends, there's not sites that just usually focus on just Marvel Legends or just Black Series figures. But Transformers, it's such a huge line that there are sites dedicated just to Transformers. And they don't have just Hasbro Transformers. They have some, like, a lot of ones made in the East Asia. They're called KOs or knockoffs. But they're just essentially the same character, but in a fan way that people prefer. Our Transformers section is one of our biggest sections. So yeah, it can sell, but you have to invest a lot into Transformers if you wanted to make it work, because there's a lot of Transformers coming out. The selection has to be huge. For us, That's the main reason why we have a ladder also. So it starts off over here and it goes on to over there. Let me see if I can. So it's not a quick buck to work with Transformers. I personally love Transformers, and I grew up watching Beast Wars and the '86 movie. So I watched the '86 movie a lot because I had VHS, and my family, we didn't have cable, and so I just played the same movie over and over again. So that's why we like it. All right, fine. I'm short and poor.
So this is kind of like the NECA horror section. It's really not well organized at this point, I guess, because
I don't know how to categorize NECA stuff too either. I also just categorize it by turtles.
And not turtle stuff.
And then Funko Pops. Aspiring toy store owners, stay away from Funko Pops.
I actually warned him, don't get into Funko Pops because it's going to take a lot more space and the profit's not worth it. You have to go really deep into Funko Pop to make it work. It's just like Transformers almost, where you have to either get it all or none of it.
Down here we have some DC Multiverse. Again, not a great seller for me. When I look at my big sellers are Legends, Star Wars, G.I.
So what I found personally with Mcfarlane is that they are overstocked in all the big box stores. And so smaller retailers have no reason to really carry it because the margins are very low on Mcfarlane. And the fact is that all the big retailers are way overstocked in it. So the figures, their value actually starts going down. So at some point, you see it on clearance while the smaller store still either has not received it or, it's not worth it to carrying a bunch of it just because it doesn't sell that well. So it's a bit awkward situation where it's like, okay, all big stores have it, and then big stores decide to clearance it, and then as a smaller retailer, you get the Mcfarlane, and it's like, okay, now I have it, but big stores are now putting this item on clearance. Do I really want to keep selling it? So it's really tough with the Mcfarlane.
We slide over the very small amount of vintage collection that we carry. I'll be honest, I don't carry a ton of vintage collection, mostly because I don't want them to sit long, they're easy to damage, and frankly, I make like $1 off of each one. So
I find cardbacks really tough. That's one of the things that I do eke about cardbacks is because they get creased or damaged really easily when they get shipped to us from any of our distributors.
sorry, Amir, but I think I can beat you.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought this was supposed to be a documentary. It's clearly fiction now, Matt. So, alright, so I like that. I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10, just because points on all the short jokes on his wife's expense, because, us short people...
I'm not even short, I'm 5'9".
So I'm like average height, but obviously he's a giant, so he just got that on it. We'll just take care of that. I think he's still got a bit of a ways to go. He has his processes, which I can see very well. So he's done very good with that. Obviously, not the best in the world, because, I'm here. I'll give him a second place, so. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Stay frosty.